NieR has finally NieR is over. After, shoot, what was it, early winter, this series went on hiatus, and it's finally back. Just dump the rest of it. Just be done with it. Release the last 4 episodes and be done with it. And it's not over yet. Apparently we have a second core announced for it, so whenever that comes out. But yeah, I watched those last 4 episodes, and I have to honestly say, WTF. That's all I'm going to say is WTF. Just to be clear with everybody, I have not played the NieR games at all. Zero, zilch. And so I jumped in this anime series just kind of because it's an anime, because I've always wanted to play it. I just figured it'd be a cool way to kind of consume the story, and I've heard a couple of whispers here and there that they changed stuff, so it seems like it'll be a unique experience either way. And just to see if, let's see if I can understand what's happening and enjoy it as much as somebody that loves the games. And honestly, I've been feeling like I've been following it pretty well. I throw my theories out there here and there. I have a couple people that are like super fans that seem to enjoy these videos, so I'm like, okay, this seems to be serving somebody. But yeah, I made a couple predictions early on, and some of it sort of came true. These final episodes laid out that 9S, of course, was trapped by Adam. Adam's pretty much curious about 9S. As 2B arrives there, we get a sense that Adam is he's in love with the concept of humans. He's birthed from the machine life forms, and all he's wanted to do is consume everything about humans. They've gained so much knowledge, but humans are weird. Adam finds humans specifically weird. They're unpredictable, they're violent, they love, all these different kind of emotions that humans have that just are illogical to a machine. Which is, yes, not treading into new waters here. But the later part of this conversation with 2B is where it starts to kind of WTF me, because honestly, my prediction early on was that the machine life forms were not created by aliens. The humans aren't using androids to fight machine life forms to regain the planet. My assumption was that humans created machine life forms and screwed up. And so they had to flee, and then they created the androids and the Aura and sent them to take out the machine life forms. Pretty much go clean up our mess. But then Adam shows an alien. Here's who's created us. This is what you've been looking for, right? And so I'm like, okay, I guess my theory is incorrect. But no. The later, like, it's everything I'm going to discuss is really in that last scene of the last episode. That's when everything just kind of became WTF. Like, everything before then is just useless. Because yes, following this whole situation, 2B hacks into the system itself. Eve comes in and takes the blow for Adam. Adam starts getting angry, starts experiencing vengeance. That's really a machine life form having those emotions that are just completely making them go berserk. This is like if a human lost a relative, this is how they act. So he's experiencing something of the humans that he cherishes so much. But he goes berserk and they defeat him. But again, like I said, everything is pretty much after that. This little snippet of this time period, 2 hours apparently before they went after Adam. 9S sees pretty much the truth of everything. Like, I felt like this final scene was literally just a wall. It was literally a wall of text. Wall of text popping up. I'm pausing every 2 seconds to read these big, massive paragraphs. And I'm like, you probably could have presented this a little bit better, unless it's just kind of one of those, read it if you want to, but don't if you don't. Or if you're an anime only, you probably want to read this. If you're not, you're like, yeah, I know what that's talking about. I remember that scene. Again, I don't know what all's in the original one. I heard whispers that Adam was supposed to die right there, not Eve. So that's a big change. But essentially outside of this final scene, we're getting a sense that Adam or Eve is becoming basically a god to the machine life forms. I'm not sure if it was specifically Eve that became the god because he died and then they all wanted to follow suit with him, or if it was the fact that Adam, in recreating this new network, he essentially became the symbol of God. But either way, all the machines are pretty much under Adam's control, and they're either dying or they're going into destruct mode. Which, yes, became very brutal, by the way. It's just them going around and just chomping into people. Again, sheer fury of Adam. But again, my big theory around everything is that the Council of Humanity is not humans. That it's an AI or something. And that's what the final scene with 9S is pretty much revealing. He's checking everything, something's glitching inside of his system, he doesn't want to sync up with the servers yet. Then at some point, before he syncs, he decides to go check out the servers, and that's when he discovers a little bit of tidbit of knowledge. The last cargo that went to the moon had 2 containers that were empty. It didn't make any sense. Why would you put these big, massive containers on here and ship them up when they have nothing in them? It's all for show, obviously. And yes, these big wall of text that pop up on the screen pretty much lay out that at some point, humanity became extinct. But they say specifically they sent some of the genes up to the moon. So there is still a chance that they could possibly bring humans back. Like this idea if they possibly take those genes, bring them back to Earth, put them through a whole process, they can pretty much rebirth humanity. That's what I'm getting a sense with that. But the biggest problem and the origin of the Yora itself is that the androids lost all hope. We were designed to protect humanity and humanity's dead. So in order to keep them going, to keep them fighting, they created the Yora. And the Yora were these androids that they sent down to the resistance and stuff and said, no, don't worry. Humanity's still alive. Keep fighting. It does give you a little bit more of a sense of how everything kind of transpired and how the resistance itself became so disenchanted by their whole fight itself. Yes, it was partly because they felt like they were abandoned, but they weren't really abandoned. Humanity died, and it's been the Yora just pretty much tickling their ears. So that was like a massive, big reveal. But again, it does play into my theory that humanity itself was gone. So at least I called that one. And additionally, my other theory that I had was that this was just like a big melting pot to create something, to fight each other until something happens. And that's sort of what they're kind of revealing here. As 9S ends up running into these two beings inside of this server, they reveal that they have this whole time, they have been essentially sending emotions to the machine life forms, thus revealing my main theory that there was no aliens involved. They were manipulating the machine life forms in order to create some sort of evolution in everything. They're trying to create a god. Now, there still could have been aliens that created machine life forms. It could have been an aspect of the aliens came across, they dropped all machine life forms down here. As Adam put it, they're so stupid they end up dying anyways. We evolved more than they did. But maybe when the aliens died, the Council of Humanity or the Yora themselves started to manipulate the machine life forms to keep the fight going. Maybe they seen something was happening and they started manipulating it. Keep fighting. Show them anger. Show them religion. Show them family. Again, they were kind of making an experiment out of the Earth itself. We can't bring humanity back yet, so let's just kind of mess with this stuff for now. Let's see if we can create something from this. It does make you wonder at this point, does the Council of Humanity even care about the existence of humankind? Maybe they just want to evolve their own kind, make their own god, and then move on from there. What's the point in bringing back the humans at this point? I think that's going to be the ultimate story beat. At least that's my prediction for this. Now, my massive question mark is 9S this being they're trying to create as a god? It seems like from his perspective, he's getting the most insight into everything. He's experiencing the most, he's unlocking things the most. Yes, he's stepping out of line more than any other android, but maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want 9S to push the limits of what he's allowed to do. Technically, even the commander herself is pushing the boundaries. She's pushing back against the council, requesting things they told her don't request. I need reinforcements. Don't ask for that. I need reinforcements. You already asked for that. If I don't get reinforcements, you're going to lose the Yora. The whole purpose of the Yora is to re-spark hope in humanity being alive, and I'm about to lose them all. It's not important. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Again, you're supposed to be having them fight and die until they create a god. But she doesn't do that. Again, she used the laser. She wasn't supposed to. She is technically evolving outside the boundaries of what she's supposed to be allowed to do. So everybody's pushing the boundaries, but nobody's receiving punishment. Yet. I mean, we could cut into the next core and Commander is being recycled or something like that. We don't know. But especially 9S, it seems like whoever's in control seems like they're acknowledging 9S. These two AIs or whatever that are catching him inside the server, they know he's there, but they're just pretty much admitting everything. We did all this stuff with the machine life forms. Isn't it great? But it doesn't necessarily tell me that 9S remembers what he's seen in there. Maybe it'll be a memory that'll be deep down inside him somewhere that he'll re-tap into later on. But he kind of just sees all this crazy stuff, wakes up and goes, oh, there's a battle going on? All right, let's go. Like, he's not really even recalling any of it. But again, it was technically a flashback, so. And it does seem like 9S has evolved in the way. I mean, he's literally hacking into a whole bunch of machine life forms and putting his existence in a whole bunch of them so that he can rebuild them all back together. He's sort of acting like Adam was acting when he went berserk. Again, it all kind of lines up to the idea that is 9S possibly what the Council of Humanity is shooting for? This being that is going to evolve to a god state. 9S is the one that shows the most emotion. He's the one that's advancing the most. He's the one that he's the one that's making his own calls the most. He's breaking from the command, basically. even though it is a robot, it is kind of tragic, the idea that Adam at some point acknowledges that he's partaken all of this knowledge, but it means nothing because I don't have somebody to share it with. It is like the age-old thing about the desire of humankind to have a partner, somebody to socialize with. What is the point of gaining knowledge when you can't interact with somebody with it? So share it with somebody. It's just in your head. What are you going to do with it? Yes, there's a lot of knowledge that can be applied to create things, and thus it's self-enjoyment there, but for the most part, you need somebody to show it to. But it does seem like the concept of the god they're trying to create is this idea of breaking free from the binds of iron itself. No longer being an android with a physical self, but just kind of, I guess, in a network. That's sort of what they were doing with machine life forms and Adam and Eve. It was this idea of breaking out of just being your single self and becoming a network that can never die. But yeah, super bizarre ending. Some really cool action scenes, by the way. Overall, visually, it looked really good. There was a couple of shots of like the CGI environments that were a little bit too much, but it sort of does fit the theme of the world of this digital metal silicon whatever environments and stuff like that they have. But no, a lot of fight scenes with 2B and stuff was really cool. A lot of the fight moves and stuff like that were really creative. But yeah, I think I covered everything. Again, it was like 4 long episodes, so sometimes some stuff gets missed. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the ending of NieR Automata version 1.1a. The first core. I don't know what they're going to call it. I think they just said we're having a second core or something like that, so it could just still be part 1 and part 2 or something, but until it returns, that's my thoughts on NieR. Overall, really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun trying to figure things out. Had a lot of laughs when I finally realized that the Resistance were all android, even though I kept calling them humans and everybody was going, stop calling them humans. I'm like, it never explained that. But again, it's one of those aspects of, you assume they probably didn't explain that because why would they explain it? Everybody that's watching this has played the game. They know the Resistance are androids. It was a lot of fun, though. It was really enjoyable trying to figure things out. But again, like I said, overall, I don't think I'm too far off the mark. I'd have to double check, though. I'll check with certain people. They probably think I'm crazy. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, hit that like button down below if you did. Leave me a comment. If you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get all my content. I do news reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate it, but it does. And y'all take care.